Greetings, viewers. Night here. Hey, remember Marcus Yamamoto?
Fuck you!
Yeah, that guy. So, months back, everyone's favorite little cinnamon roll, SF101, did a commentary on a YouTuber named Nitro Rad, did a response to a guy named Jimmy, who made a video calling Yokai watched their Pokémon ripoff, and then this weeb named Marcus Yamamoto came in with not one, but two responses to Ozzy. Marcus was then commentated on by Van, myself, and then Mr. A, and then we took the game in a co-op. You probably thought that was the end of the whole Marcus thing. Well, you thought like an idiot, because Marcus responded to the four of us. Several months later, I can't decide whether this is more or less annoying to people who rush their responses the next day, or take months to do it. I made my first video on Marcus because I felt I'd defend a fellow Yokai Watch fan and so I considered a friend, and admittedly I was bored, and Sketch TV just kind of threw the video at me. This time though, I felt I'd respond to Marcus' little tantrums about my video. Yeah, I'm not going to respond to his entire response video, because the last video I did on this guy was a bitch to edit, and I don't want to torture myself by sending this dork's absurdly-long whine-fest towards everybody in this dumbass chain. Having said that, however, I think I may have OCD because these are parts I just couldn't let slip by me.
Dragon Wheel! And if you want to make the argument that Pokemon is about friendship, yeah, sure, it's about friendship, because capturing wild fantasy animals, forcing it to bond with you, train them up to become a Mortal Kombat-style killing machine, just to become a master of everything, is considered friendship. Yeah, I believe it. Ha ha!
And I believe the best way to make friends with supernatural beings is to beat the shit out of them until they collapse into purple vapor, and then send them into a losing battle against a demon who was pursuing you because you were out after bedtime. Speaking of demons... Hey Mavi, we're buds, right?
The first thing you said to me when we met was that my horns looked like handlebars.
I said it with a love.
Let's go ahead and address these 3 complaints. I'm sure this won't end up into some live stream event. That would be ridiculous!
Why yes it would. It also gives people the impression that you're nothing but a troll seeking attention, or looking to start some sort of petty internet drama. You know, I went back and got a look at your videos on this, and both only have 3 likes. Now I'm not saying that to try and discredit your videos, but I am saying that 3 likes compared to a massive amount of dislikes on them might indicate that this isn't a war worth fighting.
Just rolled.
You know that boring stuff that you did? You could have skipped it instead of fast forwarding it.
Hey! I take pride in my fast forwardings, alright? Don't judge!
This is another reason I think you might be a troll, Marcus. I mean, unless you're completely oblivious that there are people like Fifi out there who'd make fun of you for this. Oh man, there's a guy with tinnitus. Fuck you for speeding up everything Ozzy says to such an annoying degree. And I'm not just speaking for myself here. You have no clue how everyone is going to react to shit like this. And if anyone who watched your videos was wearing headphones, I am sure that they were in a lot of discomfort when you did this. So before I actually respond to his response to my commentary, I'd like to thank Moondick the Game for pointing this out in his video. Marcus basically cuts out a lot of the context in our videos on him. I don't want to say it's because he wanted to make it look like we were attacking him, even though we called Ozzy's response to him an attack, but eh. But unlike someone like Metal Blade 5, he actually shows footage from our videos on him. Unfortunately, like Siren and seriously Isaac, he completely misunderstands everything we're saying. He also doesn't tell his viewers who any of us are, or when he's going to be covering a different video from a different person. Gee, Marcus, you call me inconsiderate later on. I feel so conflicted. On the one hand, I get to use QB again, and on the other, I have to sit through this garbage for a 3rd freaking time. 4th if you count the editing I'll have to do whenever I choose to put this out. Hey Marcus, guess what? You're laughing at the fact that I called your video on Oz trash. So who's laughing now? Me? I am laughing. Then along came a dude named, and I'm pretty sure I'm butchering the name here due to me being a monotone American, Marcus Yamamoto. Later on, he's going to call me a racist American piece of shit. And I was told the reason behind that was because I apparently got his name wrong. If that's true... And that's literally the most retarded reason I've ever heard to call someone a racist I've heard this year. You do understand that Yamato and Yamamoto are two very similar names, right? Anyone unfamiliar with either name could very easily confuse them. I even said I was sure I was probably getting it wrong. So it's not like I did it intentionally or something. I gotta wonder, do you think everyone who gets your name wrong is a racist? Or does it only count when it's someone who isn't Japanese? Is it too late to go back to talking about brony trauma? That was way more fun than this will be.
No! Stay away from bronies!
Too late.
Kill the music!
I want the 3 minutes and 10 seconds of my life back.
Too goddamn bad!
So you played that entire part just to build up you changing your avatar, which I can only assume was a picture of Mega Man that you drew yourself?
Oh what, you think you can draw a better Rockman than me?
Nope. What I'm saying is everything you've been doing till now has been wasting time. You went 3 whole minutes without saying a single thing to debunk what Ozzy said. Plus my only complaint about your avatar was that the saturation was too bright.
The point I'm trying to make is to not judge a song based on its first mix. Or heck, by its first lesson. Look, the soundtrack is great, just don't judge it, okay?
Tell me how she was judging the show's soundtrack. I must have missed it because that useless clip of a children's song about a train distracted me.
What the fuck did you just say? You racist, good-for-nothing American asshole!
Oh my. Look out, folks, you got a badass here. My point was that you didn't tell your viewers how Ozzy was judging something you liked. Also, yes, Marcus, that clip was completely pointless. It added absolutely nothing to the video. Nice to know that that was what caused you to start calling me names. Kimiwacha Kasu. Marcus, you realize the yokai in these games are based on the yokai from myths and legends long ago, right?
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. I know that. But they can still appear even in today. Especially urban legend. Yokai are real. They are just as real as us humans.
You aren't wrong, Marcus, but the way you worded yourself in the original video made it sound like you think yokai are actual living, breathing creatures. You never indicated that you were talking about the folklore that spawned them. They don't really represent the creatures they're based on.
Okay, I can understand that from a demographic perspective because scary spirits equal rated M game. But still, they're at least similar to what they truly are.
By that logic, Rattel is a skeleton that pretends to be a hooker. Or Gutsy Bones is made up of millions of people who died of starvation. Frostina wanders around in snowy mountains looking for people to freeze to death. And Jibanyan is a twin-tailed malicious monster cat. Speaking of Jibanyan, you do know that Drakunyan is based on vampires, right? Particularly Dracula. Also, the third game is introduced yokai based on the 7 lucky gods. The yokai version of Ben Zaitan is a humanoid demon that summons lightning by playing electric guitar. My point is, while these creatures might be inspired by Japanese myths and legends, they aren't the same character, and you treat them as if they are. I mean, I've yet to hear Japanese lore about a magenta humanoid with gun barrels on its hands that floats around and makes people fall in love. And don't get me started on the American yokai.
Well, if you don't like American yokai, then that's clearly your problem, not mine. Because I'm not American.
Okay, I can kind of buy the idea that yokai would eventually migrate over to America. But the issue is that a lot of the yokai in the third games aren't traditional yokai. They're either Americanized versions of the original creatures, or clearly meant to be an American counterpart. And much like the second game, which took influence from ancient Japan, a lot of the American yokai take influence from America. Hell, Nate's dad is inspired by a yokai that causes him to crave barbecue, and speak fluent English. Yeah, maybe back in times like the Edo period they were considered real. But that's because, like a lot of myths and legends, they were either used to explain things that seemingly had no explanation, or to frighten children into good behavior, or were just the embodiment of a silly idea.
I'm getting the vibe that this guy has never been to Japan before in his entire life, and probably does not deserve to visit the country considering how inconsiderate and weebish this guy is acting.
Looking into the mirror, are we? And if I'm a weeaboo because I know about Japanese culture, well then, so is Gaijin Goomba. Just because I've never been to Japan doesn't mean I'm completely ignorant. That'd be like me saying you know jack shit about Texas because you've never been here. I'm not gonna deny that some people in Japan probably still do believe in yokai and tell legends about them, but you're forgetting one simple fact, Marcus. The premise of the Yokai Watch franchise is that yokai are invisible to modern day humans. And it's still unexplained how Nate could even see Whisper before he got the Yokai Watch. Yokai get away with causing mischief for humans because they can't be seen. Not without a specific tool, not unless they wish to be seen, or unless someone has a high level of spiritual awareness like the monks who talk to at the fusion shrines. There's also the fact that yokai in this franchise can evolve similar to Pokémon and Digimon.
Yeah, it's called promotion.
Gonna explain how? Of course you aren't. How is it promotion? Were there advertisements showing off this type of feature? If so, how would you expect me to know that? You do know that poor promotion can cause a franchise to fly under the radar, right? Now I assume you mean the evolution thing, but you don't specify because this isn't a scripted video. I brought up evolution because like Pokemon and Digimon, yokai in the game attain an advanced form, either through combat experience or fusion.
You take that back about Gaijin!
Take what back?
Insulting a Japanese cultural expert like Gaijin Gooba is pretty much like insulting Japan! You know what, Gaijin, could you explain this?
The design of the yokai are both charming and accurate.
No, frick you, and frick your media clip.
You take that back about Gaijin!
Take what back? The fact that you used a Gaijin Goomba clip to make your point for you? You don't even debunk her point. Just go, that's what she said. Which literally makes no sense here and just makes you look like a smug brat. Nowhere in that clip did Ozzy insult Gaijin Goomba. She was calling you out for using Gaijin to explain your point for you, which is exactly what you did in your second response to her. Though if this video is any indication, you're shit at making your own points.
Have you ever even read the Yokai Watch manga? Or watched the Yokai Watch movies?
Such a shame that all three original videos had absolutely nothing to do with the anime or manga, and we're talking about the game!
This is not just the game, this is the entire series!
Show me the clip where Jimmy or Nitro talked about the anime or manga. While I haven't read the manga, I wasn't even aware that it was a thing. The only thing the anime has in common with the games is the core concept. Kid with unexplained ability to see supernatural creatures obtains a mysterious device that allows him to see where and when creatures are causing mischief around town, and often befriends said creatures. Yeah, the movie follows the storyline of the second game, but the anime itself is more of a monster of the day comedy series. It doesn't have an overarching narrative. In fact, the anime itself is similar to a few cartoons we have here in the West. If I had to guess, I'd say each episode of the anime is only 11 minutes long. And if you're going to bring up the Koma-san or Meiji-met segments, I could argue that those are their own stories.
I'm just amazed that I found another girl that actually likes Mega Man.
As someone who does play Mega Man and is a female, that's sexist.
Okay, I'm sorry, but that's how gaming was back then! Video games were targeted towards boys.
The Pokemon franchise has been praised as a sort of middle ground when it comes to monster battle games. Boys can enjoy the fact that it's monsters fighting, and girls can enjoy the cutesy designs of some of the creatures, and vice versa. I could even argue that contests became a thing as a counterpart to battles, since you aren't really using Pokemon that are meant for fighting, but put in a competition where, if raised properly, their techniques can be put to use.
I was going more for a threatening joke and then a Game Grumps reference.
No.
Can you believe it? This guy not only hates trains, robots, and yokai, he hates the Game Grumps! What's next? Spider-Man? Fire Emblem? This guy is just out of control.
I'm gonna say only 3 out of 541 people will believe that. I literally subbed John Awesome, Abdullah, and JadeMaster15 because I enjoyed their Yokai Watch playthroughs. I spent hours in the game hunting down a horde of plenty so I could befriend it. Went out of my way to find pictures of QB to use him as an avatar, and music from the franchise to use as background music. Yeah, you got me. I hate Yokai Watch. I, honest to God, have no words to express how much of an immature, bratty man-baby you're being right now, Marcus.
Gee, have you ever met Sammy, classic Sonic fan?
Again, credit to the lunatic for pointing out how Marcus cuts out context. I said this after Marcus had a huge baby fit over Pokemon being more popular than Yokai Watch, and went on to say how Marcus would be a terrible representation of the fandom. Sammy declared war on anyone who disliked Sonic the Hedgehog. You're declaring war on the entire Pokemon franchise and fandom. You've somehow deluded yourself into thinking Satoshi Tajiri has a hate boner for the creators of Yokai Watch, and that this is a war worth having.
I mean that it relates to the real world.
Considering you said yokai are just as real as you and me, I'm really not inclined to believe you.
Yeah, well, I don't believe that you like Yokai Watch either. You're just a Pokemon scum. A filthy Pokemon scum.
Man-child or troll, Marcus?
Either choice sends you to the Dark Ocean.
You know what, maybe realistic isn't the right term. Maybe I should just try relatable.
Oh? Are you going to talk about Nate Adams? Well, this might be a good
A good example of this would be Thomas and Friends.
No, so much no.
Wow, this guy is out of control. Maybe realistic isn't the right term. Maybe I should just try relatable.
Oh? Are you going to talk about Nate Adams? Well, this might be a good
example of this would be Thomas and Friends.
No, so much no.
Congrats! You just got a brony to cringe. MLP Femme is a series that was originally directed at little girls, but gained an audience of people in their late teens to mid-30s. When DHX took note of this, they decided to roll with it. It doesn't hurt that the show has decent writing, art, and music, but the Thomas the Tank Engine reboots? I haven't heard of anyone outside of preschoolers liking that show.
And he is creepy looking.
They like a game series over another because of personal taste.
No, it's because they hate their own life.
And your video makes me contemplate suicide.
Well, that's clearly your problem and not mine.
Now do me a favor and get off the Ponyta's back. You're gonna crush the poor thing.
No, ponies are evil.
Well, fuck you too.
Yeah, well go fuck yourself too, you evil railway destroying piece of shit!
I love how you can tell I was just trolling you at this point.
Dragon Wheel!
Marcus, there is so much wrong here.
There is so much wrong with you. Your audio, or the way that you project your voice is slightly muffled that I can barely even make out what you are even saying at all. You're insulting both England and Japan.
Huh? But I thought I was an American piece of racist shit. What part of my accent would make you think I was from England? Also, my audio. I like to record as soon and early as possible, so I usually record my audio first thing in the morning. Yeah, it does tend to make me sound a bit quiet, but I like to think that I've learned to emit a lot more since last time I covered you. Wow, it only took you like 19 minutes to actually make a decent point against me.
And what movie software do you even use anyway? Some of the audio and visuals are completely out of sync.
Videopad. The reason the syncing error occurred was because I was trying to keep up with every single time you responded to something that Ozzy said. Funnily enough, this didn't happen when I was editing the video, and I only noticed after I had posted it. Yeah, it is a mistake, but the syncing is like only a second or two off. So it isn't like it seriously hurts my video or anything. Since he's done responding to my video here, I'll go straight into my final thoughts. Marcus? Thank you. I'd been wanting an excuse to use the tracks from the previous video I did on you. Sadly, it seems like you haven't learned a single damn thing from several months ago. And I doubt you will by the time a commentary group puts out their video on you. You still come off as if you can't be criticized, as if you know better than the people responding to you, deflect criticisms aimed towards you, attempt to justify your poor behavior, and get needlessly angry over trivial shit like people so much as getting your name wrong. Your attitude is also difficult to read, making it difficult to tell if you're just a convincing and dedicated troll, or if you really behave this way off the internet. If it's the former, congrats, you got a lot of people to play the fool for you. If it's the latter, that's seriously concerning, considering that you're in your 20s, but behave like a little kid who's prone to throwing tantrums. You also give off the impression that you're xenophobic towards Americans. I just for the life of me can't imagine why. I'm not saying you are, but since I can't tell if you're trolling or being serious, you do give off that unfortunate implication. Marcus, I hadn't intended on talking about you until the end of 2018, but the fact you made this video really reflects poorly on you as a content creator, showing that you don't mind criticizing people, but react terribly when you receive criticism. I sincerely advise getting over this I'm right, you're wrong mentality you seem to have. Anyways, I'm Night Eye saying thanks for listening and please share your thoughts with me.
Hey dude, what's up? I heard you were making a video with Marcus. Figured I'd, come in, help out, do some stuff. Damn it!